What's up, guys? Welcome back to Double G Gaming, and as you can tell by the title and the thumbnail, I have a new series for you guys that I'll be dropping mostly on Wednesdays. Not every Wednesday, but some of the Wednesdays. I will be reviewing old WWE pay-per-views starting from Bad Blood 1997 all the way to, at the time of this recording, it will be Royal Rumble 2017, but obviously I'm not going to be able to review 300 pay-per-views in a month, so it'll probably be like, if I do one every Wednesday, that would be 52. How many pay-per-views are there, like from 97 all the way until now? I'll probably get to like where we are today in like a year, probably, maybe even more. There are so many. So I will review the new ones as they take place after I'm done reviewing the old ones. So then, like, let's say by Royal Rumble 2018 I'm all caught up. I've gone from Bad Blood 97 all the way to Royal Rumble 2018. Then Elimination Chamber 2018, I'll review that as it happens, like that same week. So now, I didn't start watching WWE until 2008 when it became stale as fuck. But with the WWE Network, I can go back and review these as if I did watch back in those days. Now, this isn't going to be a podcast like Gay D or Cunt Monster or the two fuckboys at Going In SmackDown Live, or even that fucking horrible voice having as Jeff Birdkins. I'm not gonna promote them bitches, or these other shitty wrestling podcasts that complain about the current product and give you their way of how it should be done, and begging for donations. Now, I'm not gonna say I'm never gonna ask for donations, but these guys beg like they beg so much for people. Like every fucking time they're just like, please donate to us here, please donate to us there. And then, like, if they have a Patreon account, they make their fucking prices, like, they build them up like they're the fucking best prices that anybody could ever have. Like, get the fuck out of here with that shit. Like, if I ever do that shit, I'm just gonna, like, you know how I say subscribe and, like, follow my Twitter? I'll just be like, subscribe, follow my Twitter, and if you want to, donate on Patreon or whatever. But I'm not gonna go into a full length fucking discussion with you guys on why you should donate to me. But I also won't be like guys like Sam Roberts or people from AfterBuzz who praise WWE as if it were their religion. Plus, don't worry about long-winded monologues and music intros. I hate those so much. Besides this first episode where I have to explain the concept of this series, the rest of them I'll just go right into the reviews. And besides me plugging my YouTube and my Twitter, like I said, and maybe hopefully one day my Patreon account, but I'm not gonna like do long-winded explanations for that either. Besides me plugging those sources, YouTube, Twitter, I'm not really gonna take a long ass time to get right into the reviews, except for right now because I have to explain like how I'm doing it. Now, I hate the product just as much as the next guy, but I'm not gonna review these pay-per-views. I'm gonna review these pay-per-views as they were given to us at the time, not as I see it now, like how it would have been better. Now, I will give you my opinion from time to time on stuff about the pay-per-view itself, but I'm not gonna try to play the booker, is what I'm trying to say. I have a scale on which I will be rating these matches. Now, you don't have to, obviously it's not gonna be the same as scale as Dave Meltzer or like yourself even. But I think this way works for me, and like I'm just gonna that's just a little fun way for me to like watch the match itself. Because if I don't rate them, I'm just gonna like feel like skipping most of them because they're so fucking most of the matches are so bad, as this pay-per-view is gonna show you later. But and if you have a argument, please leave it in the comment. I love talking wrestling, especially arguing points and matches and stuff like that, and storylines. Now, before I get into reviewing today's pay-per-view, remember to subscribe, like, and comment to this YouTube channel. And you can now follow me on Twitter and Chewy on Twitter at double G times 2 aiming. That is, the link will be in the description. It's kind of weird because Double G Gaming itself was already taken, so I had to do a different way of using a Twitter handle. And also, before we start, let me tell you my scale on how I'll be grading these matches. It'll receive 1 star if there are no big names and it was a bad match. And it will get 2 stars if there are 2 big names, if there are at least 2 big names in the match, but the match was still pretty bad. It'll get 3 stars if there's at least 1 big name in the match and it was a decent match. It'll get 4 stars if there are 2 big names in the match, a decent match, or a memorable moment that happened out of it. And it will get 5 stars if there are at least 2 big names in the match, it was a decent match according to fall finishes and the crowd, and like basically my view of things. And also if it had a memorable moment that happened in that match, or like something came out of that match that was memorable. So without further ado, let's get right into Bad Blood 1997. We start with the show signature, and I had a quick question. If you guys know this, like, please leave it in the comments. Were there actually 500 million viewers each week? Because that's what that show signature at the beginning of the pay-per-view says. Like, back when they had the, you know how now is like, then, now, forever? Or like, back in 08 when it said, when JR said, like, the entire world is watching. Like, they used to have a signature at the beginning of pay-per-views back, or shows back in the 90s that said 500 million viewers each week. Is that fucking true? Because if so, they have fallen from grace, because they went from 500 million to fucking barely 3 million. That sucks. So the start package was also in the like the beginning stages. They didn't really do what do you call them, intro packages at the beginning of pay-per-views until like the late 90s. And most of this intro was just DX beating up Undertaker. And we see PS1 being the sponsor of the show, and Mr. McMahon welcomes everyone to St. Louis, where Bad Blood is taking place. And our first match is going to be the Nation of Domination with The Rock, D'Lo, and Kama Mustafa. But during their intro, Vince announces that Brian Pillman had passed away the night before. Or he was found, at least, the night before, passed away. Then LOD comes out, and their partner Ken Shamrock, who was supposed to tag with them, was announced as unable to compete due to a kayfabe injury because of Farouk on Raw. Or so I think, unless Shamrock was actually hurt and had to be taken out of the match because of it. A lot of the Road Warriors dominating and the Nation going outside of the ring for the first couple minutes. Then after The Rock interferes illegally, the Nation starts to work on Animal. Then Animal finally tags Hawk, but the ref doesn't see it, which distracts the ref while Kama and Rock hold Animal in place for D'Lo to hit a frog splash. But Animal kicks out. Animal finally gets the hot tag to Hawk, and they both start cleaning house, and they set up Rock for their finisher until Farouk comes down to the ring and distracts Animal. As that happens, D'Lo takes Animal out of the ring. Kama nails Hawk in the back of the head with a kick, and The Rock hits a rock bottom for the pin. I'd give this a 2 stars out of 5, obviously. Nothing special, but there were moments on there where you thought LOD might win, so there's that. And it was a 2-on-3 handicap, so the fact that they were able to like convince me that they were gonna fucking win I'll give them 2 stars. And there's 2 big names in that bitch, the LOD and The Rock. Next, we see Sonny and Doc Hendricks, aka Michael Hayes, in the Superstar Hotline room, and they implied having sex in the Hell in a Cell later, so I hope Doc got lucky later that night. Next, we were supposed to get the Pillman and Do Love match, but they give us the details on Pillman's death, and we instead get a Minis tag team match that I will skip because the entire Minis and light heavyweight division the WWE had at this time was garbage. R.I.P. Pillman, though. He had a great potential, especially in the Attitude Era. And who knows, maybe he would be talked about as one of the greats along with The Rock, Austin, Mankind, Taker, Kane, Triple H. during that era. Since I skipped that, let me go ahead and tell you what other things I'll be skipping. I already said the minis, tag team divisions, anytime Stephanie McMahon comes out, because her voice is just fucking disgusting. Any Divas match or anything that is not Lita or Trish Stratus, or anything in 2016 with the new Divas or the new women like Charlotte, Sasha Banks, and Becky Lynch and them. So I'll skip all the Divas shit, and I'm gonna treat Roman Reigns as if he was Chris Benoit. He will not exist in my reviews. Next, we see Sunny come out to do guest ring announcing for the World Tag Team Championship match between the Godwins with Cletus against the current tag champs, the Headbangers. They start out by having a huge loogie catching contest. One of the Godwins spits in the air and catches it in his hand, and not to be outdone, one of the Headbangers spits in the air and catches it back in his mouth, to which JR says, "Kids, don't try this at home," which is pretty funny. That was fucking disgusting when he fucking spit in the air. I was like, what is he doing? No. And then he opened his mouth back up, and I was like, hell no. Like, don't do that. That's fucking disgusting. Anyway, the Headbangers go for a double team flapjack move, and they drop one of the Godwins right on the back of their neck. Looked pretty nasty. A whole lot of nothing for about 10 minutes. Then Mosh gets the hot tag, and they hit a double team move, which was Thrasher powerbombing Mosh onto Phineas, but Henry comes in for the save. Mosh goes to the top rope, jumps onto Phineas, I believe. I get them mixed up, but I believe he reverses it and powerbombs Mosh for the win, while Uncle Cletus was holding Thrasher to prevent a breakup. So the new tag team champs are the Godwins in a 1-star match out of 5. It was a title match, but they won with a fucking powerbomb, and it was just like I said, 10 minutes of like pure nothing like during this match. So I'll give that bitch a 1-star. Plus there was no big names in it. They continue to beat up the Headbangers until Howard Finkel announces that if they don't leave the ring, the ref would strip them of the titles, which makes no sense. And for some reason, the Godwins get furious and argue with the ref near the announce tables. I mean, just leave the fucking, just leave and everything will be alright. JR tells them to leave and take a shower or something, which was also fucking funny. They had some gold. This was the golden time of the commentary when JR, King, and this is Vince McMahon's last day of commentating. So yeah, JR and King, this would be their golden days. We next get a video package of Stone Cold highlighting the people that he's fucked with over the past couple of months, including JR, Sergeant Slaughter, Jerry the King Lawler, and the most famous one, Vince himself at MSG, Madison Square Garden. Then we go backstage where Baby Cole with his frosted tips gets interrupted by Owen Hart, and he threatens to sue Stone Cold if he gets near him tonight. So we next have JR in the ring already to honor some wrestlers that competed in St. Louis, being as that's where the show is tonight. Since this didn't become a tradition like the Hall of Fame, I will just go ahead and skip this segment. Some popular names though, I will say that. They had like Terry Funk, Lou Thesz, and a couple other ones. Another backstage interview with Doc interviewing the Nation. Farouk just cuts a promo on Stone Cold and his upcoming title match with Owen Hart for the Intercontinental title. So we move on to that match now with Farouk versus Owen Hart for the vacant Intercontinental Championship after Stone Cold got injured in that match with Owen Hart at SummerSlam. A quick observation, Bret Hart I think said that Owen would not have wanted the show to go on the night after his death, but one night after Pillman's death, which was a member of the Hart Foundation, Owen did not look rattled by it. In fact, I've heard that Owen competed that night because it was his way of coping with the situation, at least for the time that he was out there. So next, Austin comes out to sit at ringside with Sergeant Slaughter because he's supposed to present the title to the winner of the match. Austin rings the bell to officially start the match, but Owen and Farouk didn't know if it was the real bell, so they stood in the ring for about a minute until the ref told them to get going. Owen begins to work on the leg of Farouk outside of the ring. Austin decides to steal one of the Spanish announcers' headset and do commentary with Tito Santana. Austin also went to and messed with the French announce team, while Farouk got the upper hand. For some reason, Jim Neidhart came out and distracted the ref. I mean, it's not for some reason. He was part of the Hart Foundation, so he had somewhat of a reason, but it just felt weird that he came out. And at the same time, Austin, from out of nowhere, nailed Farouk with the Intercontinental belt out of nowhere, and Owen Hart picked up the victory. I'll give this match 2 stars. I mean, it wasn't long enough, and there was too much outside distraction, but it had an interesting finish. I'll give him that. Austin throws the belt in the ring and leaves, which would lead to the rematch at the next pay-per-view between Owen and Austin for the IC belt. We move on to another tag team match between the Boricuas and the DOA. Match is boring as you would expect from an 8-man tag match, but there is a spot about 5 minutes in where the Boricuas quadruple slingshot onto one of the DOA members, and they go for a pin. And then, the way the DOA go for a break is one of them from outside of the ring, they reach their hand in and scrape the top of the Boricua guy pinning his teammate. What the hell kind of breakup is that? He just scraped the top of his head like if he was caressing him. Like, what the fuck? That was so fucking stupid. So, the DOA end up winning by using a tilt-a-whirl backbreaker, and I will give this match a 1 star. These guys all look like they didn't give a shit about the match. Plus, it's the 3rd tag team match I'm reviewing, and already the 4th tag match of the pay-per-view. Backstage, we go to Cole with the Bulldog and Bret Hart, who talked about their upcoming match. If you can guess what kind of match it is, I'll give you a shout out right now. You can't guess? Let me tell you. It's another tag team match, but this time it's going to be a flagpole match. Where actually it was supposed to be the way to win was whoever climbed it and got the flag first would win. But I'm guessing because of Vader, they had to change the rules to where pins and submission would also count as a win. Because I'm guessing Vader couldn't climb the fucking pole, so they just added that stipulation. That was pretty cool. Not really cool. It was fucking hilarious that they had to book around Vader's weight. So we were backstage with Bret Hart, who talked about the upcoming match, and then Bulldog got his 2 cents in, and he said, this is exactly how he said it: "We will win right here in St. Louis." Right here. Like, he took that fucking pause to say right here twice. So, that match is gonna be next. Vader and the Patriot versus Bulldog and Bret for the pride of their respective countries. When the Patriot came out, I don't know if you guys even know who the Patriot is, but he was the first guy to come out to what went on to be Kurt Angle's theme. And pre-2002, it's so weird hearing that song and not getting the "you suck" chants. They start brawling outside the ring before the match even starts. Then the match starts when the Patriot and Vader get in the ring, and Bret and Bulldog are a good distance away from the ring. And King points out that if they had any brains, they should run up and grab the flag to win the match, and I agree. If this was a real fight, I would want to fucking win. So if I was the Patriot, since Vader can't really move, I would run up and get the flag to win the match after I already got my hands on my opponent before the match outside. Like, I already got my payback, basically. Might as well just go for the win. We move to the inside the ring after a leg sweep, and I'm guessing it's called I'm guessing that's what it's called, the leg sweep. Might be a STO. I don't know. They didn't JR didn't tell us what that move was, which shocked me. So Bret goes to get the flag, but somehow Vader quickly gets up as if nothing happened and stops Hart quickly. The Patriot tags in, and so does Bulldog. Bulldog gets sent into the ropes, and when he comes back, they botch what was supposed to be a dropkick. The match having the stupid flag stipulation already has me soured of the match, so I'm going to be a little bit more picky with this one. Also, this is the 5th tag match of the night, if not the 4th. With the ref distracted, Bulldog throws Patriot in the ring post and allows Bret to apply his signature figure 4 leg lock around the post. One of the best signatures in WWE, in my opinion. I fell asleep for I don't know how many minutes. I reviewed this in 2 parts. I reviewed this at night, and then I woke up and I watched the rest of this Bret Hart match, and then I just fucking fell asleep. So that tells you how good this match was. So I don't know how long I was asleep, but we get to the part where Bret Hart. I woke up where Bret Hart backdrops Vader and applies the sharpshooter, but then Patriot applies the figure four on Bret, but Bulldog tags in. The weird part was he was not even in the corner grabbing onto the little string in the turnbuckle, and he tagged from in between the ropes. Like, he wasn't, like, his hand wasn't over the top. His whole body was, like, in between, like, ready to come in between the ropes, which was a weird ass fucking way that the ref allowed it. So, oh, and speaking of weird tag, Patriot goes to tag Vader and does so, but Vader is just standing inside the ring, not on the apron, and just tags from there, and the ref allows that too. They take it outside. Bret nails Patriot in the balls, and while the ref is tending to him, Bret grabs the ring belt and hits Vader right in the head with it. Oh, but somehow Patriot is still knocked out with that nut shot, and Vader is right back up somehow. I mean, Bulldog helped him up, but Vader was moving by himself. A fan tried to get in the ring, and the ref, Mike Chioda, just kneed the back of this guy's neck and back while Bulldog also kicked him. Vader hits a Vader bomb on Bret, but he wasn't the legal man, and Patriot doesn't go for the quick cover. So I don't understand the meaning of that, of why he went for that Vader bomb. While Bulldog goes after Vader outside, Patriot goes for a roll-up, but is reversed into another roll-up by Bret for the win. I'm not sure if he grabbed the tights. They didn't show the replay, and you couldn't tell from the angle that they shot it from if he was holding the tights. So I give this match 2 stars, not because I slept during it, but because it had a stupid stipulation. If it was a regular tag match, I might have given it 3 stars. So after a promo from the Survivor Series for the Survivor Series pay-per-view, hold on, let me start that over. After a promo for the Survivor Series pay-per-view, the cell starts to lower, and we get sent backstage to Doc, who is with HBK. And at the end of the HBK talking, Triple H tries to cut a promo, but the camera cuts away. And if that happened today, Kevin Dunn would be given an earful by Hunter Hearst Helmsley. This felt kind of like 2012 when Punk was the champ. He was the main event. He was the main champ, but was going on second to John Cena. Just switch Punk with Bret and HBK with Cena, and it's the same thing. And then the only time Punk was main eventing was when he faced Cena. After 2 pay-per-views of being on the undercard, Bret would face Shawn Michaels in the main event at Survivor Series. Just a little detail that kind of like seemed like what do you call them? Like mirror images of themselves that I wanted to share with you guys. Slaughter checks under the ring for Hornswoggle, I'm guessing, but doesn't find anyone, so he gives the signal for the first ever Hell in a Cell to come down. They have to wait though for HBK, however, to get in the ring because of his fireworks, because when Undertaker comes down, the cell is already lowered. So as Undertaker slams the door behind him, he starts to stalk HBK around the ring. They get in the ring and Taker gives HBK a big boot. Already fucking like this match was like old school, like Taker fucking just going in on his opponent. Taker delivers old school. Speaking of old school, I never understood that move though. Everyone always pops for it. It doesn't look like it hurts at all, except for that, like when he twists the arm. I can see that hurting, but not like anything else. Like, what does he climb the ropes for? Taker throws Shawn over the top rope, and Michael lands pretty hard. Like, they had to even show a replay. Vince shows a replay of it, and he's like, what a fucking hard landing that was. So then HBK tries to climb the inside of the cell, but Undertaker is right there to pull him down. Then Taker Irish whips HBK into the cell and follows up with a clothesline twice. So he does that twice in a row. Taker goes for a powerbomb outside the ring, but HBK holds on to the cell, so Taker turns around and slams him in a powerbomb position, like onto the cell, like into that little corner of the cell. He just slammed HBK right into he just slammed his back right onto that fucking part. So HBK gets back on offense and dives onto Taker outside and sends Taker into the cell. Michael grabs the steel steps and nails Taker in the back with him a couple times. Then he goes for a pile driver onto the bottom part of the steps, and he delivers it. HBK then continues to curse at the cameraman that was right next to him, and they had to bleep that out. Shawn grabs a chair and hits Taker in the back twice with it. Back in the ring, Michaels takes Taker and wraps him up in the ropes, but when HBK goes for a clothesline, I believe that's what he was going for, Undertaker puts his foot up and nails HBK. Then HBK gets tossed over the top rope and lands on a cameraman, and he just loses it and attacks the camera guy. HBK goes back in the ring and hits Taker with a flying forearm and his signature elbow. He begins to tune up the band for sweet chin music. He hits it, but Undertaker sits up right away. The door was open because they were trying to get the cameraman out, so Shawn immediately runs out, but Taker catches him and catapults him from the floor to the cell, and then drives him headfirst to the cell as well. HBK started bleeding from that. After a low blow to Taker, HBK climbs the cell and Undertaker follows him. Shawn goes for a pile driver on top of the cell, but Taker backdrops him instead. Taker picks up HBK and press slams him on the top of the cell. This version of the cell looks so flimsy. I have no idea how the cell held up, how that cage held up when they were both on top of there. As HBK tries to get down the other side, here comes Taker and steps on his hands to make Shawn fall halfway off the cell onto an announce table. Taker picks him up and tosses him to the other announce table and then back onto the floor. Then they make their way back around the cell and back into the ring. Taker delivers a fucking chokeslam from the top of the turnbuckle. They were both standing on top of the turnbuckle. And then he goes outside to grab a chair and nails Shawn right in the top, like right in his fucking forehead. Like, looking at that now, you're like, fuck, they fucking did this shit. I can see why they banned it. Even though I would pop for a huge chair shot to the head nowadays. I wouldn't mind it. Taker signals for the end with his signature throat slash, but the lights cut out and music starts playing. Paul Bearer comes down to the ring with what we know now as Kane. Kane rips the door off its hinges and walks in and stares down Taker. Kane does his fire from the turnbuckle thing and gives Taker the tombstone. Then Kane just looks at him and walks away. HBK crawls over for the cover and pins Taker for the win. This was no question a 5-star match according to my scale. Two big names, Undertaker and Shawn, were in the match. A good match and a memorable moment. Not only was this the debut of Hell in a Cell, but the debut of Kane. So either one of those memorable moments could have worked there. So I'll give that a 5 stars. Chyna and Triple H came out to help Michaels to the back. Taker begins to move into the ring, and that's the last shot we see as they close the show out. So we close out that terrible pay-per-view out with a good match. Besides that Hell in a Cell match, there was nothing I would go back and watch on that show. Also, because of Pillman's death, the Cell match was the only singles match of the night, which made every match after the Animal or the LOD and Nation Domination match just seem repetitive. And the next pay-per-view that I will be reviewing will be Survivor Series of 1997, of course. Most of us should know what happened in the main event, but I'll be reviewing the entire show for you guys. Hope you guys like this new series. Next time I'll try to upload 2 reviews, but I had to cut it short just to show you guys what I'll be doing and also to advance quicker to today. And so, with that being said, please subscribe to be notified when the next time I upload a review is. Plus, for other great content like Chewy's Gaming, My Gaming, our holiday compilations, our sports simulations, our collabs, our old school videos that I'm putting out. Oh, speaking of which, today you guys will get two videos for the price of one. Not only this review, but a throwback video from our Ghetto Gamers channel where we play GTA. Pretty funny. I watched this video back, this GTA gameplay back. It's fucking hilarious. So you don't want to miss that. So remember to like this video and leave a comment. Hope you enjoyed. Follow our Twitter, link in the description. Subscribe. So hope you enjoyed. Thanks for watching. Love you guys. Not really. Or do I? Subscribe and you'll find out.